That's what happened to the prosecution's case today in Karen Read's trial. What a bombshell. We finally have somebody's testimony that is trustworthy and we can actually believe. It totally blew up the prosecution's case at this point. I'll tell you right now, this is gonna be a long recap because there were 6 witnesses today. So if you want, just hold like right in this area and it'll put this at 2 times speed. Day 9 of Karen Read's trial has concluded, and here's what happened today. My name is Sydney Rushing. I'm a criminal defense attorney in the state of Michigan. Now let's talk about it. Hannah Knowles' cross-examination was continued. She testified that she had no personal knowledge of how the blood draw went. She didn't know about the processes or procedures at Good Samaritan Hospital, and she literally couldn't testify to it. They went through some factors that could, change somebody's BAC. And she confirmed that she was not asked to do the BAC for anybody else involved, only Karen Read. On Redirect, Lally kept it short. She basically confirmed again how the calculations worked, and then she again confirmed a big range of 0.17 to 0.28 of what Karen's BAC could have been at 12:45 a.m. But again, there's so much that could have happened between 12:45 and the time that her blood was drawn. This is not a clear indication, and I think that this is just meant to confuse the jury. Then the prosecution called witness number 14, Ryan Nagel, and I'm guessing they wish that they didn't because he blew this bad boy up. He clearly wasn't about to lie for anybody. He said he was drinking at McCarthy's and that his sister asked him to come get her from Brian Albert's house. He did not drive. He said that he saw another black SUV going to Fairview at the same time they were. After they got there and they talked to the sister decided that she didn't want to leave. He said that they watched their sister go into the house, and then as they were leaving, they saw a light on in the SUV. He saw a woman in the driver's seat with hands at 10 and 2, and he did not notice a passenger. He also didn't notice anyone getting out of the SUV or walking towards the house, and he said that the SUV was about a car's length away from the flagpole. On cross-examination, Yannetti got him to agree that the SUV was driving at a safe speed, it was operating in a normal fashion, and it stayed in its own lane. Again, impaired driving where? Because that's not what he said. And he's our eyewitness to the driving. He said that snow hadn't started accumulating yet, and it was just starting to accumulate on the grass. And this obviously contradicts Jen's testimony about being able to see tire marks just moments later when they left. He also said that he didn't notice anyone in the passenger seat and that he didn't hear any yelling. He also didn't notice any taillight damage. On Redirect, he confirmed that it was just a coating of snow and that he didn't notice anybody lying by the flagpole. Now, this is what you call a prosecution witness that is believable. He appears to be testifying truthfully. I mean, he's not part of the cop brotherhood, and the defense nailed using this witness in their favor. Witness number 15, Heather Maxim, was then called to the stand. Now, she's Nagel's ex-girlfriend. She said she was out at McCarthy's with them. She left with them to go get his sister Julie from Brian's house. She said there was an SUV driving in front of them on their way there. She said there was a female driving and a male passenger in the vehicle. After they arrived to the house, they waited for Julie to come out. When Julie came out, she said she didn't want to leave. So then they watched her go back up to the house. She said that she didn't notice anyone leaving the SUV and that when she left, they saw the woman in the SUV, but they didn't see a male passenger anymore. Yannetti kept the cross-examination short and sweet. That she doesn't recall whether or not she was on her phone while they were waiting for Julie. And of course, this is just going to show that if she was on her phone or wasn't paying attention, she wouldn't have noticed John leaving the SUV, going towards the house or anything like that. And she said she wasn't studying the SUV. Nagel and Maxim's testimony really just hurt the prosecutor's case. Their testimony together is probably the most believable that we've heard to this point. Neither of them being involved, in, again, the brotherhood, so there's no coercion here. Their story seems to be very straightforward and honest. It's obviously because they're not in the inner circle. They were voted off the cover-up island. Then witness number 16, Sarah Levinson, was called. She was at Brian's house. She discussed how earlier in the night they were all together having a good time. It was celebratory in nature. People were drinking. And overall, they were just having a good time. She said everyone came home around midnight. The celebration continued. There was no arguments. There was no issues. She rode home with Jen McCabe, and they left between 1:30 to 2 in the morning and didn't notice anything out of the ordinary when they left. On cross-examination, Jackson pointed out that she's been friends with Brian Albert Jr. for a very long time. She also essentially said that if her testimony was last time is that she had never met Chloe, the dog, in the 20 plus times she had been over to their house, then the same stands true today. She left through the front door, there was a light dusting of snow, and again, didn't notice anything unusual in the front yard. She also was interviewed by Trooper Proctor, and she recalls talking to Julie prior to her interview. Then we had witness number 17, Katie McLaughlin, and oh my God. She's a paramedic. She was working that morning. She said there were snowy conditions. She said that the emergency vehicles had their lights on, but not their sirens because there was not very many cars on the road. She helped get the stretcher out and take it over to where John was, and then she was asked to get more information. She spoke to Karen. Karen gave his date of birth, gave his name, and when she asked if there was any severe trauma done to him, Karen essentially said, I hit him, I hit him. She also said that Karen repeated this to an officer. She said she didn't feel like it was her place to get more information out of Karen. She then said that she realized that the home belonged to Caitlin Albert and that they went to high school together and had mutual friends, but she wouldn't call her a friend. Then Jackson hit her on the cross. He asked her how many times she met with Brennan prior to her testimony, and she said 3 times. She said they reviewed her testimony from the first trial and that Brennan told her he'd be asking about her relationship with Caitlin Albert on direct examination. Then Jackson got down to the nitty-gritty asking about the I hit him statement. He showed some dash cam footage and showed that Jen was telling Karen to calm down. And then, interesting enough, the other first responders were already in the ambulance with the door shut when Karen made the statement of, I hit him, I hit him. In regards to Caitlin, Jackson pointed out that she sure did a lot of things with somebody that she didn't consider to be a friend. For example, overnight trips. She was in pictures with her. Not only that, but her best friend was roomies with Caitlin Albert at college. Y'all know there's more to it than just that. She said that writing things on her glove is something that she did when she get information, but it was snowing, it was wet. This is very interesting. Not only that, but the glove was thrown out. Clearly, she said that Karen was very upset. She said that she didn't see Karen be arrested for saying, I hit him, or being charged with a crime. And then she said that she didn't write down, I hit him on her glove. She just passed that information along and then threw out her gloves. Then after a little bit of redirect and recross, she was let off the stand. They went to lunch. They came back from lunch. They did a sidebar. They brought the jury in. They took the jury back. And then after a while, we finally got on to our next witness. All right, this is getting way too long and I'm running out of time. So go to part 2. I've never had to do this before, but go to part 2 for witness number 18, Lieutenant Paul Gallagher, and to hear about his very questionable methods for collecting evidence.